Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been ages since we've done some content, and now we came back from PAX and we've got Kevin here, back on the channel again, with his Yellow Syn deck profile. Alright, so tell us how you went with the deck, and we'll go over it.
Yeah, so I came second in the regionals this weekend, playing the old classic Yellow Syn. So I figured, why not bring out the classic? It has a really good matchup into Red Syn, which I figured would be most of the field, and yeah, it actually performed pretty well. I had one buy in the first round, and the last three of my matchups were all Red Syn, so I kind of predicted everything I was going to do, and yeah, it was really successful.
Awesome. Why don't we run over the deck then right now? So we've got the beautiful pre-release in. I'm sure you guys all know what it does by now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, swing, look top 5 for Dragon, awaken at 3 life or less for cost Unison, untap 1, draw 2, draw a card on swing on awaken side, and then restand everything end of turn, and then pay 6 and play all the dragons. So in my version of the build, you're never going to pay 6. You're just trying to kill them before they get a chance to do anything. Yep. So it's a bit of a mid-range, slightly aggro build. We still play the main boys. He's still just too good not to run. So 2 of the balls, 2 of the 4 drops because it's searchable. You pretty much just always want to see in deck. And 3 of the 9 drop because you want to have this one in hand. Yep. So it makes sense to have more of it.
Beautiful.
Got 2 of the winners promo. Thank you, Benny, for giving me one.
Awesome, awesome.
So next we play 3 each of the ball and the penguin, like Benny likes to call it.
The chicken.
Yes.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah. So
yeah.
You play him, you swing, he has crit, he gets 5k, you take a life. He's the main against blue and early red. This is the main play you want to be doing. You want to just be swinging for crit, for big damage. And we play 3 of the ice. So I would put this up to 4, but this is pretty much just you. In theory, if you're running the control package, you run 8 cards, 8 1-drops anyway. So this is still 8, but I would go up to 9 just for consistency.
I believe you couldn't find your 4th copy. That's why we're running the 3 at the moment. So you know, it's all right. Still good. Still got a very good placement with it. So easy.
So we run 4 of the 8-drop. So this is the bread and butter of this deck. You don't really go into the 9-drop anymore. You just go into this card pretty much turn 2 every game. And then you either want to absorb the Oceanist for the barrier and KO/blocker, or you want to absorb the crit. So against pretty much every blue deck that isn't the new trunks, you always want to go into this turn 2, absorb this turn 2, and go in for a 35k crit. Get yourself closer to Awakening, and then just keep on putting the pressure on. Against red, you definitely want to go into this, especially Gogeta and Syn both have a way to neg this effectively on their turn, so you definitely want to be going into the Oceanus and just keeping that on board. A good interaction is when you swing with this, you can, against Syn, if you go first, you can clear their 2-drop they played on turn 1 to get a ball, so it just gives you that little bit of extra value. I play 4 of the Nuova. This is the guy where if you have a dragon on board, you can play him for 1. You switch from rest mode, burst 2. And then you can play a 2 or 4 drop, 19k or less, that doesn't already have a name of a character on board. So the main card you want to play off this is this boy here. He is the best defensive tool you have in your deck and allows you to extend further than you should be able to just because of the safety of being able to tap something on play. So unlike Poutine, this lets you choose when you want to rest the card they play, and it allows you to kind of bait the opponent into doing unoptimal plays, or they just can't play one big boy, otherwise it's just going to be rested on play. We also have this as the other target, so this I think is really good, but it's more of a if you see it you do it, if you don't it's fine, because if you then have the hazes, you can go in really aggressive turn 2 by bringing this back with this guy. He comes in with no skills, swing in for 15k skillless, free X evolve, restand, and then you have a 20k double strike. And so this is all just possible for free based off of this one card and the 3-drop being a drop. But we play 4 Haze anyway. Even if I didn't have this card in the deck, you just play this because if Syn doesn't have the Oceanist to give their big boy barrier, you just Haze it.
Yeah.
For turn 2, they go for double strike crit. They come on top of it. You just combo this, discard another dragon, and it's just gone. And they just lose so much value. And the best part is this is then just goes into your Z energy for cards later that we'll be showing.
Like what Kev says, value.
Always value.
Honestly, I really like the one of as this card, yeah, because it just allows you to pivot more aggro. If you see, if you don't, like, you know, it's still fine. It's still like a 5k, and it's on par with the theme of the deck as well.
Exactly.
And searchable.
And searchable, yeah. So we play 3 of the Triple Strike Boy. This guy won me every game I played, pretty much. So this is the main threat of the deck. You want to get the opponent down to 4 life, pretty much on turn 3 or 4, and hold your Awaken. And then you can do some disgusting things and make your opponent make some horrible choices. So pairing it with this card, if you have 4 or 3 energy and you have your ability to Awaken, so on 4 energy you play this for 1. If they're on 4 life, you swing in. They either have to negate into a potential cooler, which then they're going to be, if they use a token negate, they're going to be at 3 life, and you're swinging with a Triple Strike. Or if they don't negate it, you can take them down to 1, and then any token negate they have is useless, and then you can cooler their next negate, and it's just pretty much a guaranteed victory at that point. So you definitely draw a lot with this deck. It does take a lot from life as well, but I would often have 13 cards in hand when I was going for my kill, and the opponent just can never out-combo it. So 2 cooler remain, because if I burst this, and I used to run 1 and I burst it, and then I just wouldn't win the game.
Yeah, it feels bad.
So you just, because you burst a lot using this card and this card, you definitely just need the consistent, let's see. So if a card is absolutely vital, I always just run it as 2 and go from there.
Awesome.
So next is the Spice. So this is the new red 4-drop Syn. You can't play it with the activate main, but what you can do is you can play it off this ball. So this ball says you can play a 2 to a 4-drop, but it doesn't specify yellow. So in some scenarios, if you're going to the 9-drop, they've cleared it, and they're not expecting you to have a way to kill them because you don't really run Champer in this deck, so you don't really have that many double strikes. You can bring this out, and if they token negate, you can actually clear the token negate by popping one of your own cards if you have it as well. I would probably cut this just down to 1 and probably just cut the deck down a little bit so it's a bit more consistent. But this card is it's just a surprise.
Yeah, honestly, it would be a surprise. Like, if you have this on the board already, and then all of a sudden you go into this, people are not expecting it, right? Like,
Exactly.
oh, it's gonna be a 9-drop, you know. He's got no more double strikes, and then bam, this guy comes out, clears the token negate, going for game. Easy.
Exactly. So move on to the non-dragon cards. So Overwhelm of Choice, Mirror, and the new Dark Broly. So we're an aggro deck, we're trying to kill. Mirror, obviously you got to run Champa. So Mirror, Champa, Dark Broly. That pairs in with obviously the best card that Yellow now has is the Oolong. So this play, pretty obvious. You play the Mirror, you swing in with it, go up to like 110k base. Oolong, you pay 1, play it, and 110k base swing for 1 energy is insane. The upside of playing Oolong in this deck especially is because every card you have sticking is a 30k.
Yeah.
At any point, you can just have a 1-cost 30k beat stick, and you don't really mind if they remove it because you've done the damage. The whole idea of this deck is you just push them as hard and fast as possible and just hope they can't recover. This is just any Overwhelm. I just chose this because you do burst a lot. You don't really want to Overwhelm before you have the ability to Warp 7 with this guy. So you don't really need any small cost Overwhelm. So I just went with him for the extra removal in terms of if they have a token on board, token on board, you can just remove it and then go in for another 30k.
Beautiful.
So that's these one-offs. The next one, so just the negates. I run 2 of the token negates. 2 fighting, Forbidden Power. So the reason I run this over Nimbus is the ability to tap barrier blockers on the Appendage Zone. So like Trunks Cheetah or the new Goku. It didn't come up because I didn't verse in yellow, but it's definitely a very useful card to have. And then just 1 power Super Saiyan because why would you not run it? It's a free cycle, it just puts down your deck.
Yep.
So super combo in SCR choice is the Krillin and then the new boy.
There he is.
Piccolo and Son Gohan.
Best super combo in the
New
game.
found white. At first, everyone didn't think it was that good because it takes up super combo spot. Cards cracked.
Yeah.
In this deck, it feels the best SCR to use. There's just nothing comparable anymore. It is pretty much just better version of Cell. Cell, you don't really get any effects till turn 5, so this gets all its effects. And 9 times out of 10, your opponent is going to have 5 things tapped, especially in this meta where everyone's flooding the board and they're tapping out every turn because they've got so many defensive tools. This was active pretty much turn 2 or turn 3 most games.
Yeah.
And it saved my ass against you, Benny.
Yes, it did.
Because I perfectly converted out of an attack, played this, tapped down the other thing, draw a card, and I go, okay, you're not doing anything else to me. I'm pretty sweet. And then it sticks.
And also
Red Syn has no answer to this. Gogeta has no answer to this. It's a pretty clean SCR at the moment.
Yeah, really clean. Yeah, I'll definitely play this over the Salzeno as well. Salzeno's a little bit slow at the moment, so yeah, I'd rather this for sure any day.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have it, it feels super, super oppressive.
Yeah.
Alrighty, why don't we go? That's your main board right there. So we'll go to the Z deck. You've already showed 2 of the cards, the Oolongs.
Yep. So not many choices at the moment, but
Yep.
2 Oolong, 2 of the Goku. It's sort of like the 4-drop run in the deck, except it's in the Zenkai. I didn't play that any games. One of this guy because I only own one, and you're literally never gonna play it. I just put it in there just to have the spot. And then 2 of the Vegeta. So this card, best Zenkai card that got printed. This the ability to awaken, force yourself to awaken if the opponent is trying to stall you at 1 above, or even if they're stalling you at 6 and you have a token negate in hand, you can use this, go down to 5, token negate next turn, go down to 4, and it just allows you to actually then have super combos live. And so the versatility of this card, just being in the Zenkai deck, is huge.
Yep, value for sure.
So that's the Zenkai deck, and then my sideboard. So these 2 cards are the only things I started in all weekend. 4 Vegeta Unison and 2 Release from Evil. This just gives Gogeta and Syn depression because they have to then either play their smaller cards, which you don't really care about, or they have to then just try and force out a Vegeta Zenkai, and this then just deals with the Vegeta Zenkai very well. I would consider making these main, to be honest. They just feel so good. Release from Evil also is really good into blue, so if they play the 4-drop or the 6-drop Goku on turn 4 with 4 energy, if they get greedy and swing with it, if you release from Evil, it no longer gets the restand or untap at the end of their turn, and if that was their whole game plan, you've just pretty much effectively made their board dead. And if they have no hand, if they don't have the right negates or the right super combos in hand, they're pretty much done.
You are ready for Nick?
Always.
Shut up for Nick. Playing Trunks deck,
Trunks
so annoying.
Is depression. You can't really do your normal game plan. You kind of have to. Normally against blue, you want to aggro them down because they can't handle the pressure of all the crits.
Yeah.
But because that deck doesn't care, you kind of have to play the long game and hope that you can just outpace them. So that's what this card's for on the side. 1 Jiren, because against Trunks, you're going to go to turn it 7 energy.
Yep, for sure.
If you don't have it, you're going to lose the game.
I think having the respect is also good, just respecting turning the tide.
Always going to have to. Yeah. Until that card's banned, you got to include 1 Jiren. 2 Tyrannical Blow for mainly Android 16, the ramp card, and also for Floodgates. So if the opponent, so blue-green Gamma is also, so anything that plays a Floodgate to try and survive a turn, this just turns it off and gives them a little bit of depression.
Yeah.
This is also for blue. I'll probably cut this because there's no blue deck you really want to put this in against because you just either aggro them down or you just win the game.
Yep.
Hand destruction, pretty standard. And then I have 2 of these Oceanists in the side for aggro. So there isn't a lot of aggro at the moment, but things like Green Vegeta, Benny's teammate plays a lot of. This card combined with the big Omega Absorbing Oceanist will just make you survive. Like turns you shouldn't be able to survive, you survive with this. And it catches the opponent off guard. It forces them to rethink their plan.
Also very good Zenkai energy as well.
Yes, exactly.
Alrighty, so that is the sideboard as well. Thank you, Kevin, for doing this deck profile with us. Any shout-outs you would like to give?
Shout out to the Cartastic boys, of course. Always making it hard at locals to got to actually try, so that's good. Shout out to the Danny boys for doing the same. Shout out to TAC for running a clean event and all the awesome prizes we got. And shout out to Benny for taking the depression well on the day.
Oh, definitely, definitely. It was a rough game against Kevin. That was my only loss for the day as well. So I went X1 as well. So, oh yeah, Kevin went X1 as well. Came second. The prizings were absolutely amazing. So Kevin also got a Fest Kai for a winner. You know, if you want it, just hit him up, you know. Yeah, thank you, Kevin, for doing this deck profile with us. And I'm hoping like that we'll get you back on the channel very soon, especially with Nats coming up as well.
Awesome.
All right, peace.
Thanks, Benny. Catches.